Hey, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Got a story. As you can see by the title of this video, fire. So, I'll start from the beginning. This happened on the date of the video. As you can tell, I'm not in my place. There's a reason for that. It was 9:45 p.m. and I was just laying down in bed. I turned off all the lights except one light, which was in the foyer because my roommate wasn't home. No, he was out. So I was like, I'm dead tired. I was so tired. I just could barely move. I, laid down. Lights are off. Close to going to sleep. And then I hear psh, all this glass break. So I say to myself, there's one of two things that just happened. Either my roommate just walked in and broke something by accident. I look outside and it's still that one light. So I was like, I don't know. Let me go check it out. Maybe something happened to him. Maybe he's bleeding, see what's up. Second option was that there's a robber, and I was like, man, I'm gonna sneak up on this robber and see what he's doing. So I grabbed the handle to my door, which wasn't closed all the way because when it closes, it locks, and you can't open it up from inside except with a lot of difficulty. It sometimes takes 3 minutes. On the outside, it's easy. So I put a piece of toothpaste, like a toothpaste box there. To keep it open slightly. I can never close my door completely. I grab onto the handle, and I open it up, and then right in front of my face is all this black smoke and all this heat. I can't breathe. I start coughing, and I run straight for the window. That's the first thing I do because I was like, I need to breathe. So alhamdulillah, it was good quick thinking. Fuddling around, just open the window, just push it open really quickly, and it's right over my bed, and I'm just like, and then I just pick up my phone, and so I was reading Blink, Malcolm Gladwell book, and I think I mentioned Outliers the other time too. They're all really good books, and I learn a lot from them, and I suggest you read them. And so I pick up the phone, and he says that sometimes people aren't even able to dial 911, which is really interesting because you're just. Well, yeah, my hand was shaking and stuff because I was scared. I was very scared. I was like, because I found out there's a fire in my house and I'm here and I'm alone and my roommate's not here, and I can't see anything. I can't even turn around because when I turn around I can't breathe. There's just black smoke coming all behind me, and I'm sticking my head out and like leaning out of the window. I'm on the it's the 5th floor in Egypt, but what's considered the 6th floor because they start higher. The 6th floor, and because you have another additional floor like on the bottom, it's considered higher. It's about 7 stories high. Okay, so I'm very high, and there's a fire in my apartment, and the fire is, I don't know where it is, but it's next to the main door, and the main door only opens with a key. There's not just like a knob, and we don't leave it unlocked because it just will swing open. So I'm fuddling around, and I finally. It's very interesting. I don't know 911. I just know 123. 123 is for the ambulance. And I talked about this last time, when there was that car crash. Well, I should have memorized the number for the firefighters, which I didn't. So I pick up the phone and I call my roommate. Now, my roommate has 2 names. I mean, he's an American, but he has like an Arabic name as well. And we all know him by his Arabic name, and I know the other one. But I put in both in my address book. I just like doing that for clarity's sake. Now the weird thing is I've never called him by his American real birth name, but I actually dialed that one. I didn't dial his Arabic name, so that's an interesting reaction. I call him and I'm speaking to him again. This is an emergency situation. I should be speaking in English, but it's very weird. I'm speaking in Egyptian, and I usually speak in modern standard Arabic. I prefer that, but I was speaking in Egyptian. That was interesting. I pick it up and I'm just like, I can't breathe. I need help. I can't breathe. And he's like, oh my God, shuts the phone. He starts running. He's at Shara Delta, which is a 5-minute walk. He's, at the cyber. He just runs out of the cyber. Doesn't pay, of course. And he's just running and running. He calls the firefighters twice, or the ambulance, and it cuts off both times. He calls one of the doctors, directors of the other program, and he calls her and he tells her, please call the firefighters. She calls them, and what I heard is that twice it also cut out, just to show your reliability. You should watch out for. But she ended up coming and calling the cops. Now I'm scared to death. thinking I'm going to die. My life didn't flash before my eyes, which I've heard happens. So my friend later said, maybe that's a good sign. It should have been a good sign. But I was very afraid. I said my shahada. You know, it's the testimony in Islam, and if you have the chance to say it before you die, it's the best thing to end your life with. It's Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, which means I bear witness that there's nothing worthy of worship but God, and that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the messenger of God. Now I said this, but I didn't lose hope. I kept screaming afterwards. And I was just screaming and yelling, and I was like, people, there's a fire. There's like, I can't see anybody. I'm just like, there's a fire, there's a fire, there's a fire. Help me, there's a fire. I'm in here. Help me, help me, help me. There's a fire, people. And I was thinking in Fusha, which is modern standard Arabic, but I was speaking in Egyptian colloquial. So in modern standard, I would say, an-najda, an-najda, you know, which I'm asking them for help, help, help. There was a guy who was in the school. I told you maybe before that my balcony is right across, right there is a school. It's a Christian private school. It's called like St. Anthony or something like that. And there was a guy who heard me, and I was like, please call the cops, call the firefighters, because there's a different number for all. And he calls them, and thank God, and I'm very thankful for him. I mean, I'm still here, alhamdulillah, as you can tell, so you know the end of the story. Now, 2 floors down, I see the balcony. Now, I did have the window. The balcony is my roommate's window, but I can see, like, kind of sideways the balcony, and I see someone taking out their clothes, which they've hung up to dry. And I'm like, hey, miss, or hey, guy, because in Arabic you can't just say hey, you. It's always feminine or masculine. You have to choose. I didn't know. I just saw hands, and I was just like, please help me. And she, like, looks up. And I called the doorman, whose number is supposed to always be available. I called him. I remember that. So he could just come up. I don't know. You could kick open the door or something. But his phone was off. His phone was off. Yeah. I was thinking of throwing my keys to her balcony so that she could just run up and unlock the door. But she didn't seem too much in a hurry. I was yelling to her. She was taking off some more clothes. And then she looked at me ever so calmly. Ever so calmly, yeah. My roommate came very quickly. It was just a few minutes, if even 3 minutes. I mean, it was just very quick. But I was scared. I was really panicking, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to probably die. I thought of jumping down to the balcony beneath, because it kind of sideways jump. I mean, it's a long shot, but I was like, I'm not just gonna like, you know, sit here. Probably the biggest danger was the suffocation, or just like losing consciousness, and I don't know what could happen out of the smoke, but it was a lot. It was a lot of smoke. Eventually, I hear my roommate yelling my name, and he's like, "Tamam." And first, we start talking in Egyptian colloquial. He switches to English, and then I switch to English as well, just because we're yelling and I need to focus. It's very simple stuff. It's like, "Can you hear me?" He said he made it to the kitchen, and this is weird because I had just posted up pictures of my apartment on my Flickr, so I guess you could see. It was before we did a little remodeling and we moved the couches around the TV for movie nights, but yeah, it was intense. The fire was in the sala, which is the foyer area. If you look, there's next to the kitchen, there's a little window thing. There's a little table. It might have had dominoes on it and a couch, kind of like in the corner. Well, it started there. And so he was able to make it up until the kitchen. After that, he just couldn't. He said it was very hot. He couldn't breathe. And so he basically just yelled to me. And I could see like what appeared to be a flashlight. It was his phone. And I could see the light, and I was like, okay. And he's like, you're going to have to get out of here. You're going to have to run. It's not bad, but we can't help you. I mean, the firefighters took maybe 15 or 20 minutes at least to get there, which is a long time. And so I was like, all right, this is it. I'm just going to run. And I put my shirt up like this, very close to my eyes so that I didn't inhale. I got very low. I'm telling you, this is so important, the stuff they teach you about fire plans and like stop, drop, and roll and staying low, because